Hey there, English learners. Ever found yourself confused about the different kinds of verbs in English? Well, you are not alone. In today's video, we're going to break down all the important types of verbs, explain them clearly, and give you some examples so that you can use them with confidence. Let's get started. Welcome back to SAH English Insights. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss any helpful English tips. Now, we all know verbs are the action words in English, but did you know there are many different kinds of verbs, each with a unique role in sentences? In this video, we'll walk through each type and explain how to use them like a pro. 1. Action verbs. Let's start with action verbs. These are the verbs that show what someone or something is doing. They describe physical or mental actions. Examples: run, she runs every morning. Think, I think about my goals every day. Eat, we eat dinner together every night. As you can see, action verbs are those that describe activities like running, thinking, and eating. These are the verbs that show actions we can do with our bodies or minds. 2. Stative verbs. Next, we have stative verbs. These are verbs that describe a state of being, feelings, or situations. Unlike action verbs, stative verbs are not about doing something, but rather about existing or being in a certain state. Examples: know, I know the answer. Believe, she believes in magic. Love, they love their pets. Stative verbs tell us about emotions, states, or conditions. They express how someone feels or the status of something. 3. Transitive verbs. Now let's talk about transitive verbs. These verbs require an object to complete their meaning. In other words, the action is done to someone or something. Examples: eat, he eats an apple. Write, she writes a letter. Build, they build a house. With transitive verbs, you always need an object to receive the action. In each of these examples, you can see the object is needed to complete the thought. 4. Intransitive verbs. On the flip side, we have intransitive verbs. These verbs don't require an object. The action ends with the subject. Examples: sleep, the baby sleeps. Arrive, they arrived early. Laugh, she laughs loudly. Intransitive verbs stand alone. They don't need an object to make sense. The action ends with the subject. 5. Linking verbs. Next up, linking verbs. These verbs don't show action. Instead, they link the subject to a subject complement, which can be a noun or adjective that gives more information about the subject. Examples: be, she is a doctor. Become, he became a teacher. Seem, the movie seems interesting. Linking verbs help us connect the subject with additional information about it, like what it is or what it seems to be. 6. Helping verbs, auxiliary verbs. Let's move on to helping verbs, also known as auxiliary verbs. These verbs assist the main verb in a sentence to create different tenses, moods, or voices. Examples: have, she has finished her homework. Will, they will go to the park. Be, he is studying for his exams. Helping verbs help form various verb tenses and other grammatical structures, giving us more flexibility in how we express actions. 7. Modal verbs. Now let's get to modal verbs. These verbs are used to express necessity, possibility, permission, or ability. Examples: can, I can swim. Should, you should study more. Must, he must finish his work. Modal verbs are like little helpers that modify the meaning of the main verb, adding nuances about possibility, ability, or necessity. 8. Regular verbs. Regular verbs are those that follow a consistent pattern when changing tenses. You add ed to the base form to make it past tense. Examples: walk, I walked to school. Talk, we talked for hours. Clean, she cleaned the house. Regular verbs are pretty straightforward because they follow the same pattern. You just add ed to the base form to make them past tense. 9. Irregular verbs. On the other hand, irregular verbs do not follow the regular pattern of adding ed for past tense. These verbs change in unpredictable ways. Examples: go, I went to the store. Eat, they ate lunch already. Come, she came home late. Unlike regular verbs, irregular verbs don't follow a set pattern and you have to memorize them, but they're still essential for fluent English. 10. Phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are combinations of verbs with prepositions or adverbs that change the meaning of the original verb. These are common in informal English. Examples: give up, don't give up on your dreams. Look after, she looks after her little brother. Run into, I ran into an old friend yesterday. Phrasal verbs can be tricky, but once you get the hang of them, they're super useful in everyday English. 11. Infinitives. Finally, we have infinitives. An infinitive is the base form of a verb, usually preceded by to. Infinitives are used to express purpose, intention, or future action. Examples: to read, I want to read a book. To play, he plans to play soccer. To learn, they need to learn new skills. Infinitives give us the basic idea of an action and are used in a variety of ways in English. Wow, we've covered a lot today. We've talked about action verbs, stative verbs, transitive and intransitive verbs, linking verbs, and even some tricky ones like irregular verbs and phrasal verbs. By now, you should have a much better understanding of how different types of verbs work in English. So whenever you're speaking or writing, try to be more aware of which type of verb you're using to make your sentences clearer and more interesting. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and leave a comment below if you have any questions or need more examples. Don't forget to subscribe for more English tips from SAH English Insights. See you in the next video.